Okay, I'm back and I'm going to show you how I make a real simple potato soup. So, first thing is, I've got onions. I've got, you know what? I'm going to put the recipe on my website, so you'll be able to reference it from there. But anyway, I've got my onions, probably about a good cup of onions. I've got potatoes, probably between 2 and 3 pounds. I've got a quarter cup of flour, and I've got some chicken broth, salt and pepper, and remember the celery that I dehydrated? We're going to use a little bit of that in there, good old handful, not too much. And then I got some ham to put in it. So first thing first is what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle the flour on top of these potatoes. We're going to put the onions in there with them. Okay. Then we're going to do a little salt and pepper. I can't see this coming out, so I got to put it in my hand. A little bit more. Potatoes use a little extra salt. Okay. A little bit of pepper. Well, actually a lot, because remember, I'm cooking. I love pepper. Take a little bit. It might sound like there's lots coming out, but it's more noisy than anything. Okay. We are just going to very carefully toss this around a little bit so everything gets coated nicely. Okay? Just like so. Okay, and then we're just going to set that aside. And while that's getting aside, I got to adjust my camera here for my pot. Because that... Okay. I'm going to turn my burner on medium high. And I've got just about 3/4 of a stick of butter. I'm going to put that in there. In my Dutch oven. And we're going to get that melting up while that is setting aside. Getting all happy over there. And it'll take probably a couple minutes to get this all melted up. I'll break it up a little bit, it'll go quicker. And we're going to saute it up a little bit. There, it's getting there. I love these cast iron pans. Just love them. And if you're ever wondering, you know, because they are very pricey. And a lot of times at Macy's during Christmas time, they usually have a one-day sale. Well, these were like $179. And I got it on a one-day sale. We bought like 5 or 6 of them, I think, for Christmas gifts. They were only 50 bucks a piece, no matter what size, you know, the great big ones or the medium ones. So I've got a 3, a 5, a 6, an 8, and a 10-quart one. So I got quite a few of them. I just love them. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. I want this to melt real nicely. And I never use any metal in my pans either. I take very good care of them. I got a set of beautiful Martha Stewart pots and pans about 5 years ago now, I think. And they still look brand new. But I do. I take very good care of my pans. A cook always takes good care of their pans. Alright, so that's melted. And it's starting to sizzle a little. You can see that. So, we are going to take and dump all this in there. Let me get the last little bit out here real quick. And we're going to saute these all up. Get everything mixed around. That's what my grandmother always told me. Before she would make her soup, she would always saute all her veggies, no matter what they were. She would saute them all up just a little bit. And it, I don't know what it does to it, but it tastes wonderful. I do a lot of things my grandmother did. There's a lot of my grandmother's recipes are going to be on my website too. I finally decided it's time to share them. And I also am putting together a cookbook of recipes. So that will come out soon. And I am starting with the sweets. And my grandmother was German, and she's got some beautiful recipes that I'm going to share in that cookbook. And one of them is her Viennese strudel. So that'll be fun, and I'll do a video on that one too. So, okay, those are going. Enough of my rattling on. We're going to put the ham in there. Now you can use bacon. You can use whatever you want. And you don't even have to put meat in it if you don't want to, but I'm putting a little ham in mine because that's what my family likes. Alright. Keep mixing that up. Keep it moving around. You'll get all the goodies on the bottom of that pan. And we're going to just cook it right in this pan too, so whatever's sticking to the bottom, those tidbits of yummo, will come off and into our soup. Okay, now here's the celery. Remember the celery. I'm going to show you. I'm only going to use just a little bit because remember, it's dried. And it'll perk up quite a bit. And with that, okay, now I'm going to pour in. I'm going to turn this down just a hair. And I've got some chicken broth here. And I'm going to pour that all in there. And look at that. We're not going to need to add water. If you don't have enough chicken broth, you can always top it off with some water. It will not hurt it. Okay? We're going to let this cook for a little bit. I'm going to mix this all up. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. And then I'll let it cook. And then I'll come back because we're going to add milk and maybe a couple other things in here. I might put a little bit of cheese. I don't eat a lot of cheese, but I might put just a little dot of cream cheese in here. That's kind of like a secret. But there. See that? Beautiful. Needs a little more pepper. And of course, I always do a little bit of garlic. Oh, wrong one. I usually guess it the first time around. I'm going to put just a little bit of granulated garlic. Just enough to enhance all the flavor. So, see that? That is beautiful. You can add scallions to this. In fact, I got some dried scallions. I may just do that. Just, it's a beautiful look. And you can do, this is just the basic recipe. You can add whatever you want to it. So, we're going to put our lid on that, just like so. We're going to let that simmer, not simmer, we're going to let it cook pretty good for about a good 10 minutes, and then I'll be back and I'll show you what we'll do next. Okay friends, see, this is just a boiling. I had to cook that for, probably about 10 minutes or so. I let it boil so it'd cook up those potatoes. They're not all the way done. Now is what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of things and then I'm going to let it simmer. So first thing, I'm going to add the milk. And I got about a cup so far. I might put a little more in. I may just put, no, I think that's enough. I think that'll be good. Okay, and then I've got my scallions. I'm out of scallions, but I've always kept my onion tops. throughout the whole summer when my onions were growing, I would trim them down. I call it giving them a haircut. But I would keep these and dry these. These are fabulous in soups and casseroles and anything. So I'm just going to put a nice little handful of those in there. Not too much, maybe a little more than that. Now these will perk up, but they won't perk up, you know, huge or anything, because they are just onion tops. Now there's a beautiful little pan of soup, and I've got happy grandbabies. I'm sure you can hear them. I love it. I love it. A house full of kids is a happy home. Okay, so we're going to let that simmer. And for about 30 minutes, I think I'm going to let it simmer. And then when it's done and when I'm ready to serve it up, I'll be back and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, friends, I am back and this is done. This is fantastic. Now, the secret is here. Sometimes I put a little bit of cream cheese in there instead of the cheddar cheese because it just gives it a creamy goodness. I can't even explain it. Some people say, oh, won't that taste horrible? No, it's fantastic. It's just a little secret though. Anyway, this is all done. Now with this, the potatoes are all nice and tender. If you like it a little thicker than what I have it, which most people probably do, you can take your emulsion blender or your, potato masher and just mash it a little, or just give it a quick grind with your emulsion blender and that'll help to thicken it up. Or you could cheat and put a little bit of spuds in there, of your dehydrated potato flakes, and that will also thicken it up. So there you have it, friends. That's a quick, fast dinner, and you could make that for a weekend and nibble on it all weekend long. And it's beautiful for a day like today in cool northern Michigan. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. And remember, the recipe's on my website, and you can find the link in the bottom of the description box. Come see me on my website. I'd love to hear from you.